Well, there you have it. Right there. School is out. We are officially doing online learning until the end of the year. Little Alice Cooper to start us off today to talk about the bureaucracy, but we'll get going from there. We're supposed to have a quiz today, but I got your 1.4 stuff up a little late. Crazy day with sick dogs and kids and stuff. So we are not going to take a quiz today. Everything's due tomorrow morning still, and I will have a Google Meets link up for you guys to get a hold of that tomorrow, and we'll meet at 10. So objective for the first part of bureaucracy, describe the requirements of the bureaucracy through notes, really quick stuff, and then examine Article 2 about what it says about the Constitution. But let's start with some current events, all right? You guys can go to the link right there, but President Trump gave a press conference yesterday where he claimed it's his decision, not the governor's, to reopen the country. That's wrong. That's just wrong. No. That's not a possibility. We'll get into why. And it is constitutionally based, not my opinion. But we'll get into that. And this has a lot to do with the bureaucracy, because the bureaucracy is the one that has this power in the country. We'll get to kind of why in a little bit here. All right, first part. All sorts of crazy things going on with the bureaucracy. We have duplication. We have red tape. We have craziness. We have hierarchies. Ultimately, here you have that triangle, and you got that iron triangle going on. Don't forget the iron triangle. Subcommittees, congressional committees, and bureaucratic agencies. That was wrong. Subcommittees, interest groups, and bureaucratic agencies. Make sure you have those three parts down here to understand what the bureaucracy does. All right, let's talk about this to start. What is a bureaucracy? Three parts to a bureaucracy. First, you got to have hierarchical authority. All right, schools, hierarchical authority. Principal, vice principal, department chair, teacher, teacher's assistant, stuff like that. Second, you got to have job specialization. Schools, social studies, math, English, social studies, another part of that. Finally, formalized rules. Schools. So schools are a bureaucracy, so you have to follow formalized rules that governs large numbers of people. Everybody has to have a specific job in the organization, and you have to listen to the person above you. That's super important. Henry Ford got this. This is why he started the assembly lines and why it worked so well. The bureaucracy, hierarchical authority, job specialization, formalized rules. That way it's organized so that everybody knows what they're supposed to do and things get done more efficiently, allegedly, because we know that doesn't always happen in a bureaucracy. Okay, why is a bureaucracy an absolute necessity in the federal government today? Okay, let's start right there. First part, extensive powers of the president. The president has a lot of powers because he has a lot of responsibilities. Telling governors what to do is not one of them in this term, in this crisis, okay? Second, size of the nation's population and geography. Because it's so big and so large, we've got to have a big bureaucracy to cover the entire country. Third, developments in science, technology, and industry. Do you really think the founders thought about airplanes and cars and radios and TVs and healthcare and all these different things that the bureaucracy has to help regulate today? That's a big deal. Government's concerned for economic growth, the Federal Reserve Board, the Treasury Department, the FDIC, all of these groups are responsible for regulating the economy. The social welfare and justice, they didn't think about social welfare. They didn't think about the Social Security Administration or Housing and Urban Development or Health and Human Services or Social Security or Medicaid or Medicare or S-CHIP or SNAP. All these different things that the government's now responsible for was not thought about. Finally, national security. That's a big part of what's going on. And the fact that we need a huge bureaucracy to protect the country is a big deal. Nobody thought about that. So the bureaucracy's had to grow. Now, here's the kicker about why it grew. There's nothing that says it can grow, but there's nothing that says it can't grow, which is where we're going to come back to Trump in just a minute here. Federal bureaucracy is made up into what three major groups? First of all, we have the cabinet departments. There's 15 of them. We'll get to that. The executive office of the president, those are people that are appointed, yet they're not quite as discretionary. And then independent regulatory agencies. In terms of discretionary power, independent regulatory agencies have the most. Executive offices of the president has the least out of those that are appointed and approved, and the White House office has the least among them. And we will get into that in a little bit today. Major elements of the bureaucracy. Near all of the bureaucracy in the federal government resides in the executive branch, almost all of it, like this Congressional Budget Office. That's part of the bureaucracy, but that's in the congressional branch. And the Constitution gives little guidance, if any, guidance about what the structure of the bureaucracy should look like. So let me get into what Trump was talking about then. Before we do that, the foundations of the bureaucracy, this is in the Constitution. There's only 3 specific spots in the Constitution that refer to a federal bureaucracy. Number 1, we have this Article 2, Section 2. First part says, require the opinion and writing of the principal officer in each of the executive departments. That's one of the parts about a bureaucracy. Second, whose appointments are not here and otherwise provided for and shall be established by law. Appointments to what? The bureaucracy. And the third, heads of departments. That's all it says about bureaucracy. So that's a big deal. Let's talk about current events and about Trump saying it's his decision, not the governor's, to reopen the country. This is a 10th Amendment issue. It's not his decision. It's the state's decision. Remember, the 10th Amendment of the Constitution says the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. Now, the interesting thing about this is President Trump has had a strict construction approach or originalism his entire presidency up until this very issue. Now he wants a living constitution, which is really, really interesting. If you're interested, you could read the article from Politico about what he wants to do. But this is the 10th Amendment issue. It's not the ability of the president to tell the governor what to do in these situations. Think health, think welfare, think morals. Not a possibility here, right? Health, welfare, and morals are responsibility of the states, not the president. So, something to think about. That's our first video. You're going to see something just like this very shortly. We have another video coming up on the bureaucracy today to get ahead for tomorrow. But that's the basis for the bureaucracy. Next part you're going to see really shortly is day 2. Importance of understanding the name game and discretionary authority and where Monmouth versus Illinois falls in. Hoping you guys are being safe. I will see you guys tomorrow at 10. I got another video coming up really shortly. And remember, school's out until summer. Chill dog out.